Why does a single painting, a haunting piece of music, or a simple line of prose stir our hearts so profoundly and shake our very existence in this modern world? How can these artistic expressions simultaneously break our hearts and make us feel more vibrant and alive than ever before in our complex and often chaotic daily lives? When we look back at the long and winding trajectory of human history, we find that humanity has always pursued something far beyond simple physical and biological survival. Even amidst the darkest shadows of hunger and the overwhelming chaos of war, people painted on stone, composed songs, and left lasting stories for future generations to discover. The ancient cave paintings we find today were not mere records. They were the visceral traces of the intense fear and the enduring hope that our ancestors truly felt. Medieval cathedrals were never just simple architectural structures. They were meticulously designed to visually express the immense human experience of profound awe and divine terror. During the Renaissance, visionary artists shifted the focal point of the world from a distant, God-centered universe to the intricate, complex, and emotional world of the individual human being. By capturing the subtle nuances of the human body and the depths of emotion, they marked one of the most profound and lasting transitions in the entire history of our civilization. In this way, art has always emerged as a direct and powerful response to the critical questions and the complex problems that define each unique and challenging historical era. In times of devastating war and immense suffering, art held the heavy weight of sorrow and despair within its creative frame, giving a clear voice to the voiceless. Conversely, in times of great prosperity and rapid change, both hope and confusion were woven into artistic works, reflecting the complex and often contradictory spirit of the age. Even today, as we look around our contemporary world, the situation remains largely the same for the human condition and the persistent internal struggles we all face. Though we have become more materially wealthy than any previous generation, we often feel a much deeper void and a persistent underlying sense of anxiety and spiritual displacement. This is precisely why people turn to cinema, music, and paintings, to find a mirror that can finally confirm, validate, and give expression to their most deeply hidden emotions. Art has become a vital tool for understanding the true depths of ourselves rather than being a source of simple, temporary, and ultimately hollow sensory pleasure or entertainment. Great art acts as a mirror, reflecting both the turbulence of the current era and the secret, quiet interior of the human soul that remains untouched by the world. The core insight we are exploring today is remarkably clear, and it goes far beyond the technical skill, the craftsmanship, or the simple aesthetics of any artistic work. Great art does not merely deliver information to the mind. It serves to reproduce and transmit raw, authentic human emotion directly and powerfully to the soul of the viewer. The human brain is biologically wired to react far more strongly to emotional stimuli than it ever does to pure, cold logic, dry facts, or abstract intellectual information. Neuroscience has proven that experiences involving intense emotion are remembered much longer and have a far deeper and more lasting impact on our overall worldview and identity. Art stimulates this exact point in our complex neural pathways with an incredible level of precision that few other things in our lives can ever hope to achieve. Paintings touch our souls through the visual language of color and form, while music reaches us through the intangible and mysterious power of rhythm and melody. Literature reaches the heart through the unique power of language and the deep structural resonance of a well-crafted human narrative that mirrors our own life stories. The most crucial point for us to understand is that great art never attempts to explain emotion to the viewer in a logical, step-by-step, or analytical way. Instead, art makes us feel the emotion directly and immediately, bypassing our critical need for logical reasoning, linguistic explanation, or intellectual justification for what we feel. This is why we often find ourselves weeping before a great work of art without being able to offer a single logical or rational reason for our tears. Our hearts swell with immense emotion even in those quiet moments when we find that we cannot find the right words to describe our complex experience. In that precise moment, we aren't just understanding the work intellectually, we are experiencing its core emotion as if it were our very own internal reality. This is the most powerful and transformative force that art possesses, the unique ability to bridge the gap between two entirely separate and distinct human souls. This phenomenon is most dramatically and visibly seen in the realms of grand classical music and the timeless physical world of fine art paintings and sculptures. Beethoven's symphonies are never just simple combinations of musical notes. They are complex, powerful, and turbulent flows of the most intense and authentic human emotion. They capture the true depth of the human struggle and the ultimate shining victory of the human spirit over the many trials and tribulations of our lives. Even after losing his hearing, he managed to express the unbreakable human will through the profound, complex, and deeply moving language of his musical compositions. His compositions continue to resonate in the hearts and the souls of people hundreds of years later, proving the timelessness of pure artistic and human emotion. The masterpieces of Vincent van Gogh tell a very similar and equally powerful story of raw passion, internal fire, and the constant human search for light. His works may not be technically perfect in a traditional sense, but they convey an intense fire and a profound anxiety that we feel almost instantly deep in our souls. The bold, vibrant colors and the rough, expressive brushstrokes act as a conduit, transmitting his internal heat and passion directly to our own individual souls. When we look at his work, we don't just see colors on a canvas. We feel the immense depth and the complex beauty of his unique emotional landscape. The very same phenomenon occurs in the captivating world of cinema and the ancient, fundamental art of human storytelling, myth-making, and collective imagination. In a darkened theater, we find ourselves feeling the exact same sorrow and joy as the fictional characters living out their lives on the silver screen. This extraordinary shared experience happens because we, as humans, possess the incredible and life-giving capacity for deep, authentic empathy with the experiences of others. Art is the ultimate and most sophisticated device that maximizes this empathy, allowing us to connect with the very heart and soul of another human being. This is the fundamental reason why great art continues to move human hearts across vastly different times, distant cultures, and diverse social and linguistic backgrounds. As we reach the heart of our discussion, the core message of our intellectual exploration today becomes unmistakably and powerfully clear to us all in this room. The true and lasting power of art lies not in its superficial beauty, but in its profound and unique capacity for human empathy and spiritual resonance. What truly moves people and changes their lives is not cold logic or hard facts, but the deep spiritual resonance of shared, authentic human feelings. Art remains the most powerful and direct language we have that stimulates that deep, fundamental connection between the vision of the artist and the observer. Therefore, to truly understand the deep meaning of art, we must allow ourselves to feel it completely rather than attempting to analyze it with logic. An attitude of radical openness and spiritual vulnerability is required if we are to truly embrace and understand the artist's unique and profound vision. It is vital that we do not turn away from our own complex emotions, but instead, we must learn to accept them as a fundamental part of life. Art constantly tells us not to hide our deepest feelings from the world, and more importantly, not to hide those feelings from our very own individual selves. Rather, we as humans can only become deeper and more authentic when we have the courage to face our true emotions without any filters or fear. The internal change you will gain through this journey into the heart of art is certainly one that is both profound and lasting for your soul. You will no longer be someone who suppresses or fears their emotion, but instead, you will become a person who truly understands, embraces, and masters it. You will transform into a person who fully experiences the world of art rather than just being someone who consumes it as a passive and detached observer. And through this, you will become a person who truly empathizes with the world, rather than turning away from the suffering or the joy of others. Ultimately, we must realize that great art does not teach us something entirely new or foreign to our own existing human nature and collective experience. Instead, it simply awakens the deep and powerful emotions that already existed, perhaps dormant, within the very center of our own unique and immortal souls. Through the profound language of art, we finally discover and embrace what it truly means to be a human being in this vast and mysterious universe. So, I ask you to remember this core truth as you move through the world and encounter the many masterpieces that have been left for us. Art does not give you entirely new emotions. It simply awakens the ones that have been waiting inside you since the very moment you were first born. To speak a bit more lightly and simply, you could say that great art is like a mysterious and powerful switch for the human heart and feelings. If you find yourself crying before a great work of art, please understand that it's not because the work itself is inherently sad or tragic in nature. It is because you're already a deeply emotional and empathetic being, and the art has simply mirrored that beautiful quality back to your own heart. The masterpiece that moved you simply pressed the button that was already there, hidden within the complex and wonderful structure of your very own human soul. I truly hope you continue to expand your emotions and your thoughts through the scholarly humanities insights presented by Dr. Jongmoon Ko, also known as James Ko. By subscribing and liking this video, you will help keep your soul nourished with knowledge, art, and deep thought for a very long time to come. May only good things and profound discoveries always happen to you on your long and exciting intellectual journey through the vast and wonderful world of ideas. Please continue to explore more and share these ideas with the following primary tags: power of art, emotion, and empathy, and our shared humanities insight. And also consider checking out these 3 related topics: why art matters, our unique human empathy ability, and the fascinating depths of the study of human psychology. To delve deeper into these subjects, you can search for terms such as why does art give impression, and the fascinating relationship between music and emotion. Discover more through these terms: empathy, ability psychology, and a scholarly interpretation of the profound and passionate works of the great artist Vincent van Gogh. And finally, look for these topics: the deep meaning of Beethoven's music and the fundamental question of why art is necessary for a meaningful human life. This masterclass was presented by Jongmoon Ko, also known as Dr. James Ko. We thank you sincerely for your support and your intellectual curiosity today. For all further inquiries or collaboration, please contact us at k90391198@gmail.com. We look forward to continuing this important human conversation with you.